This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Dustin Hoffman.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. Today is Friday, December the 1st, 2023. So glad you could join us. Coming up a little later on in the program, we're going to talk with Iowa Ag Secretary Mike Naig about the opening of some crop insurance discounts for those cover crop acres that opened up today. We'll also take a look at that ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Or at the end of another trading day and another trading week, and it's time to talk with Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. And Tyler, it's been an interesting week, let's put it that way. Did it end any less interesting, or was it kind of status quo for this Friday?
It looked like it was going to be a pretty interesting week. We had corn up pretty solid earlier, in your March contract, pushing up on that 490, 489 and a half level on corn, kind of held that most of the day. And then in the last 30 minutes or so, kind of gave it up and actually ended up settling underneath some pretty important moving averages. We've got the 20-day that's just really been struggling to get a close over. Looked like we were going to get that done today and just couldn't get it done. So a little bit of a negative tone going into the weekend here. Soybeans under pressure all day. We've got the weather market in Brazil is really what's driving that. And kind of, it's been dry. We've talked a lot about that. A lot of the weather maps have been pointing to a wetter pattern moving in here in December. And so the market's kind of putting its bet that pattern develops here over the next couple of weeks, and so we'll just have to see if the rains develop.
Now, you mentioned we got above those closing averages but couldn't hold on to them. I mean, what is it about those numbers that are just acting like kryptonite to the corn market?
The fund manager uses a lot of technical analysis, and if you kind of pay attention to those 10 and 20-day moving averages, when we're above it, they use it as a buying signal, and when we're below it, they use it as a selling signal. And so it does feel like when we push up to those levels and they're in the mode to sell it, they see it as an opportunity to add to their short positions, and they start hitting the sell button. On occasion, we get a piece of news like, this morning we went charging higher and it felt like it was going to hold, and it just kind of lost momentum throughout the day. Saw the same in the wheat market. Wheat was up strong earlier today, and as we closed out the day, it just kind of faded in Minneapolis and especially in Minneapolis, Kansas City as well. Chicago actually held in there fairly decent throughout the day.
So then moving on to the livestock side of things, I know cattle have been kind of riding a rocky road as well. I mean, how did they fare today, and how did those hogs do?
Cattle got blasted today. The big move down on last Friday. Sell-off continued on Monday. A lot of talk that it was stops getting run and some margin call issues of blowing people out. And then Tuesday we reversed, pushed higher again Wednesday, and then kind of late afternoon today, right before the markets closed, we went from being down $1 or $2 on the day to down $5.50 in feeder cattle. Fat cattle fell with it. Your February contract down 270. We're basically in fat cattle back down to those lows that we set on Monday. I don't have a great reason as to why. One of the things we try to track up here is the feeder calf market on the cash side. Cash market has remained strong in the feeders. Track some sales in places like Mobridge, South Dakota, where 7-weight cattle are bringing $240 to $250. Definitely not bearish in the cash market, but the feeders just can't catch a break from this heavy selling going on between speculators and money managers.
And then moving over to the hog side of the equation, what did we see there?
Hogs struggled. They've had a decent little rally here over this week. Looked like it was going to be a kind of a nice day there again. 10-day moving average is kind of where this thing stalled out, and when it realized it wasn't going to be able to stay above it, just felt like they came in, hit the sell button, and pushed this thing down. You've still got a discount of futures to cash, so the cash market is higher than the futures market. That should bode well for hogs moving forward, but we are coming into a time period where we tend to see a little pressure on that price throughout the winter months anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
All right. Well, if folks want to talk some marketing information with agmarket.net, maybe finalize their strategies for next year's crops and things, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you all?
Check us out on the internet, agmarket.net. There's a contact us page, and you can find a broker in your area. And if you want to call direct, number 701-987-6009.
All right. Well, Tyler, thanks so much for the information. We'll talk to you again next week.
You bet. Take care.
That again was Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. Let's go over to the IARN market window and see how those numbers closed for the day.
December corn was up 2 3/4 at 464.5. January beans down 17 3/4 at 13.25. Soy meal down $16.90 at 425.30. Soy oil down 91 cents at 51.38. Chicago wheat up 6 3/4 at 577. Kansas wheat up 1 3/4 at 645. Minneapolis wheat unchanged at 702.5. Oats up 20 3/4 at 394 3/4. Live cattle for December down $1.60 at 169.27. Feeders down $5.52 at 214.42. Lean hogs down 17 cents at 68.60, and pork cutouts up $1 at 81.75.
And that's been a check of our ag market recap. We're going to take a short break and hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association, and the Soy Checkoff. And when we come back, we're going to talk with Iowa Ag Secretary Mike Naig. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Well, welcome back to AMPM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. Well, today is December 1st, and that means that the Iowa Department of Agriculture and Land Stewardship is opening up signups for crop insurance discounts when it comes to your cover crop acres and what discounts you can get when we talk with Iowa Ag Secretary Mike Naig. You want to tell us what's going on, what it's all about?
Absolutely. And yeah, it is hard to believe that now we're through Thanksgiving. I hope you got your shopping done for Christmas, or you're well on your way, because the days are ticking away. But no, December 1st, actually, we open the window for folks to apply for our cover crop insurance discount program. And we launched this a couple of years ago, and it was intended, really, it's an innovative kind of approach to this, which is normal cost share would be you apply, you wait for approval, you do the practice, and then you submit for reimbursement. That's fine. It works well. But we thought, let's try something a little different. Let's get on more acres. Let's give folks just an easier option. And so that's this crop insurance discount program. So what you do is you plant cover crops, and then you tell us after the fact, and then we apply a $5 per acre reduction in your crop insurance premium for next year. And it's pretty streamlined. You do have some issues, but you can't layer some of these programs together. But we do take the cap off and allow you to submit for the discount on all of your acres. And so it's been a really innovative approach. We've got a couple of other states now who have modeled programs after ours, Indiana and Illinois. Wisconsin's trying it, and the federal government, actually USDA, did something very similar here over the last couple of years. So we're really proud of it, and it's been very popular. You can go to cleanwateriowa.org, and you can sign up starting December 1st.
Now, people might go, okay, $5 off my premium per acre, but when you put all those acres together, that really adds up and can be a pretty good incentive, can't it?
It can, and most of the cost share programs, whether the Department of Ag here, Iowa Department of Ag, or USDA, they have limits on, caps on the number of acres that you can enroll in a program, and this one has no cap. And so that's the other upside, is you might be able to enroll some acres in one program and get this program on the rest of your acres. But again, I think what we hear from folks is, gosh, it's really pretty easy to sign up. You go to the website, you put some information in, and it's pretty straightforward. So it took some work on the back end. I'm really proud of our team. Again, nothing like this had been done before. And so we had to work with Risk Management Agency and Farm Service Agency and NRCS and us. And, it's an alphabet soup of agencies, but it came to fruition and really has been a nice program. We're really proud of it, and again, trying to prove it as a model that perhaps could be a future Farm Bill program.
Well, definitely would be an interesting thing to see, and and that also helps. We've talked about that 4 million acre goal and or that benchmark, and now
Yeah.
trying to increase those acres. That's definitely you see more and more farmers sign up for that program. I'm sure.
We are, and the other thing too that I'm always looking to deputize people to talk about conservation, and in this case, we've got crop insurance agents now that have been deputized, so to speak, to talk about it. And at this stage of the game, as we approach 4 million acres, which really is a wonderful accomplishment, we've got more work to do, right? I mean, that we're not done by any means. We're accelerating the adoption, but if we're going to do that, we've just got to reach more people, and then once people have I always say start small, right? You don't have to put your whole farm or all of your farms under cover crops, but start and then have some experience with it. And that's exactly what we see is that people will start small and then expand. And so we need more people, but then we need those people increasingly putting cover crops on more and more acres. And again, let's remember, these don't work everywhere in every situation, but where they do, we really should be focused on it.
That again was Iowa Agriculture Secretary Mike Naig. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ag weather outlook. The sun was shining pretty decently when we started off the day here in Des Moines, but the clouds rolled in by the late part of the morning. Now scattered precipitation fell across much of the state, but more could be coming this evening. The temperatures are going to hold pretty steady. Let's see what the National Weather Service says for the next 24 hours.
Well, as we see, a wintry mix was kind of possible here throughout the whole day. You may have seen mixtures of rain and snow, and that's going to continue into tonight. High temperatures anywhere from the mid to upper 30s. Now, again, tonight we'll start to see that snow taper off. A few breaks in the clouds, and low temperatures will be anywhere from around 20 to the mid 30s. And then tomorrow, sunshine, well, partly sunny skies will return. Mostly cloudy still off to the east. High temperatures upper 30s to around 40. Taking a look at the affiliate weather map for you for tomorrow in Cherokee. Look for partly sunny skies and 40. Shenandoah partly sunny and 38. Des Moines mostly cloudy and 38. Waterloo mostly cloudy 39. Albia partly sunny 37. And Clinton mostly cloudy to partly sunny and a high.
And that's been a check of our ag weather outlook. And that also brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all our content online at iowaagnet.com. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and our YouTube channel. While you're there, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified each time we put out a new video project. Also, don't forget about our free market podcast coming straight to your mobile device a couple times a day through Amazon, Apple, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Dustin Huffman. For Mark Magnuson, Riley Smith, and Andy Peterson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.